On March 13th, 2020, Jacksfilms graded 8 channels to see what their content was like.
Love yourself together to the end. Yeah, love yourself, we are all good friends.
That's right, I'm talking about tabletop games and card games. Tabletop games have been around for millennia.
Now, half a year later, I, one of the channels that he graded, sat down with 3 of the other channels to see what their lives have been like since the shoutout. Welcome to another episode of me doing the same thing that Anthony Padilla does, but, you know, not quite as good. Would you smooch Jacksfilms on the lips?
Yeah, of course.
Who wouldn't, right?
Gross.
I'm not one to be a homewrecker or anything. I think I would rather go for a forehead kiss, just get my lips just all up on that big thing. I'll give him like a Boromir. I'll like lay him down on the ground, give him a nice like little pep talk, and then raise my lips to his forehead and just fucking smooch right in there.
I give him a good old-fashioned hug.
Would it be that like side hug thing where you don't really touch his body at all? Or would it be like a full body embrace?
I would do a full body embrace.
Yeah. I've actually met him once years and years ago, and I gave him a good old hug that time. Yeah, I went to 2014 VidCon, and I met him when I was like 15 years old, and I had no idea what was yet to come.
Do you guys actually like the way that Jack critiqued your video?
I want subtitles.
Oh.
I want to hear what you're saying, dog.
Yeah, I think I do, because it was I want to say like polite enough, but we actually did get some feedback that we could actually use to improve our videos.
Yeah, I mean, I fucking getting an A+ from someone like Jack with like that, not only like level of like talent and skill and stuff on YouTube, but just like persisting for so long and like having to innovate over like 11 years or something on the site. It means like a shit ton.
We were trying to make our videos look better, and at that time we weren't as focused on audio, so it definitely shows. Some of our earlier videos from that, they even have better audio, but because we were just trying to do what we could in the moment, it ended up being what it was. It was fair and it was nice, and any feedback is helpful.
I can say unabashedly, like, obviously Jakey's like a huge inspiration for me and stuff. I think I've done a decent job of moving away from him over the last 5 or 6 months, especially since the shout out. But at the time on Reddit, I was getting like annihilated for like, oh, you're talentless hack, Jakey clone, you're fat, naked Jakey, like all this shit. And then Jack was like,
I'm getting strong, naked Jakey vibes already, which is always a good thing. The inspiration from naked Jakey is obvious, but I don't think it's too similar. And I'm giving you a B in this category because I want to see where else you take this direction.
seeing someone who actually like knows the reins of like being on YouTube and just being like a creator and like an artist in general, say like, obviously I can see your inspirations, but I believe that like as an artist, you're going to learn to move past them. That was super important for me at the time.
It must be frustrating to like be a small channel where you're sort of focused on music and like you don't have the money or budget to actually focus on production or recording or like getting a sound booth.
Yeah, I'm sure all of our subscribers probably, can kind of sense that we're, kind of still at the beginning stages trying to figure out how to do all that. We're just doing the best we can.
Yeah, it lends itself a little bit of that imposter syndrome where you want to tell people what you care about and what you're working on, but you feel like maybe it's not good enough to really like be what it is. Writing our own songs and focusing on that really makes me feel like a musician, and like I can say, no, I do play music and I care about it, and this is how you can tell, even if I don't have the tools to make it the best it can be, you can tell that it's something I care about.
It's been 6 months, right? 7 months since the shoutout.
Yeah.
What happened that first day, that first hour, within the moment of you finding out that you were in that video?
I was on my way home from work, and I had my phone like on my GPS thing. I don't know why I was there. I was listening to music. I was like, I'm just gonna put it up. And then I saw a notification from YouTube, and it said, "Hey there, from Jacksfilms channel." And I was like, wait, what? And that's when I remembered, oh shit, I put my YouTube channel in the Twitter comments. That's right.
He had liked my tweet, so I was like, does that mean I'm going to be in it or whatever? And he didn't make the video for probably 3 weeks after he tweeted that. So I was just like kind of in the back of my mind, just like sitting on the edge of like a fucking cliff, just like waiting to see what would happen.
And then the day that the video was posted and we started getting the flood of subscribers and we didn't know why. I had that thought in the back of my mind, like, there's no way he saw the tweet. There's no way he reacted to our videos.
I resisted entirely trying to go into the comment section to see if my link was there or something. I just watched until it was like 7 minutes in, and then he was like...
James Miller says, if you like board games or jokes so bad I can't bring myself to finish them, you should definitely check out this video. So James, what do you got?
And that was crazy. I started crying. I opened my YouTube studio like in fucking tears with the video still playing in like a little like box at the top of my phone screen. And it was like 2K subs. So I had like gained 1,000 subs in like 10 minutes of the video being up.
And we were in the car, and then Rose is just like, hey, we have like, I don't know, something small, like 4 or 5, like
we have
more subscribers, which at the time, every month we would maybe get like 1 or 2.
And we were like, nah, it has to be a mistake. Has to be a glitch.
I remember I nearly crashed my car on my way home. I was freaking out from all the notifications from comments and new subscribers and stuff.
Dude, imagine that. You get shouted out by Jacksfilms and then you fucking die.
I talked to my parents for like an hour because it was like crazy to me. Not even just like the growth. It was just like the Jack Nicholson of YouTube or some shit. Just like told me I was good enough or something, you know, like an OG.
It took us a couple hours to probably finish the whole video because I know we were both freaking out, and me personally, I was losing it. I was like self-conscious about watching myself be watched, and simultaneously like so happy about what was going on and so overwhelmed.
It took us like almost 3 years to get 50 subscribers, and we just got 50 in half an hour.
I got home, I was like, Mom, Dad, here's what's up. And I laid it on them, and they were like, all right, what does that mean?
Oh, that's neat. Do you know this person? Who is Jack? Should I be concerned that a 30-year-old man with a bald spot's talking to you online?
Then by that night, I think I was at like 7K, and all my friends were like, oh, you're going to hit 10K, you're going to hit 10K. I was like, there's no way, like, the video's going to die out in a day and it's not going to get any more views. And then surprisingly, that video, like, stayed in the algorithm for like a few weeks. So by the second day I had hit 10K, but over the next few weeks, I still grossed like another, I want to say 3,000 people, and that's where it kind of started to plateau. But there's always, like, you probably know too, like every few days someone trickling in on the video that he linked saying like, oh, here from Jacksfilms.
Before the shoutout, how did you guys feel about your content?
So I originally started like strictly like gaming videos, and then I was like, all right, you know, I still want to do gaming videos, but I'm going to start streaming as well, and I'll start doing some like skits here and there. After that, I was just kind of like, hey, I'm getting into making music. I'm going to solely focus on that, but I'll still stream. And then it became just music. And then it became music and vlogs.
We were proud of it for sure, but we did not have nearly as many subscribers as we got afterwards.
How many were you at beforehand?
About just over 50.
Yeah.
We were at like 52, 53.
So a couple days beforehand, I had 890 or something like that. And then I got something to pop a little bit on our videos. And it got a lot of hate, but it also got me all the way up to 998 subs. I was about to finally push the 1,000 mark, you know? Because, like, the 1,000 mark is kind of like the place where when you're smaller, like, you can finally start telling people in real life, like, yeah, not like I'm a YouTuber, but, like, I make videos on YouTube. It's kind of like a rite of passage or something. So I was so excited to hit that. And then on my 3-year anniversary, Jack shouts me out, and I go from 900 to, you know, 12K or something like that.
I don't know why. In like my sophomore year, I really started listening to like a lot of music, and that's when I was like, hey, you know, I'm curious about trying to do stuff like this. So like I bought a program to start making, you know, beats and stuff, and I just started like rapping a little bit, and trust me, it was not good at first.
Like, I had been making videos for almost 3 years at that point, and like the first year and a half was just like
Horrible
garbage.
shit.
But that garbage like helped me get good at editing and learn, you know, what's cringe, what's not, learn the ropes of the internet.
I don't know. I was just kind of like, hey, I'll put some out and like see what sticks, what doesn't. That's kind of what I did for like my first year making music, since it was a lot of like trial and error.
I kind of hit my stride maybe like the October before he shouted me out in March.
And then like I sort of found my groove.
I thought it was good enough definitely to be pushed to a wider audience, but I was still very conscious of the fact that like I'm still trying to shake this obvious inspiration from people like Gus and Jakey, like in my comedy. Do I still think I'm ready to be like, you know, one of the big boys? No, I think I still need to find myself, and that is the trials and tribulations of being like a creative person. I definitely think the content itself was good enough for people to enjoy. It's just I don't think that I am or was like at any peak of like uniquity or anything yet.
We were at a place where we didn't have a lot of people paying attention to what we were doing, but every single person who subscribed, it felt like such a victory that one actual person cared about what we were doing enough to subscribe, and every single comment and like, it meant so much to us, and it still does. Whether it's 50 or 300 or however far we go, it's that like personal connection of knowing there's someone out there who's listening to what we're doing and caring enough to subscribe or comment or do anything about it.
Because naturally a large portion of your audience is a result of Jacksfilms. And it's a bit more artificial than like the natural growth that you had from subscribers who found you on their own. Do you like see a palpable difference between those two types of fans?
Right now, not really. Like at the time, the video that he did put on his video, there's people saying like, we're here because of Jacksfilms or whatever, but that's honestly the only time.
Honestly, no, I thought that I would. And you have to remember, because it's like, oh, I have 15K on YouTube, but there's only 400 people in my Discord, and there's only 1,000 people following me on Twitter and stuff. And it's like, maybe they all did just sub to be nice and then leave. There are a bunch of people supporting me, but a lot of them are just like doing it passively, like I do. I don't even realize it. I just watch videos on YouTube. I rarely ever comment. I still have a bunch of people that were there from before that are super supportive still, that have supported me for like a few years, which is crazy. And a lot of the people that I've been blessed to get from Jack have been super nice and supportive.
The people who cared about our music and were interested, they stayed, and the people who were only there for like a few minutes because they were intrigued, they left. And so anyone who comments on our work now and like gives us an encouraging memo or anything like that, it feels the same, honestly. And I feel like that's good.
I will say, though, which I want to know if you have the same experience. Jack has a very I'll meme on you, you'll meme on me, like relationship with his audience. Like his audience is very much always out to like make fun of him. I'm a very sensitive person, and obviously being exposed to like 10 or 15,000 people in that short of amount of a time, you have to get used to some things. And especially in my Discord, there were always people out to like meme on me, and if I misspell something, immediately call it out, or like if I lose a game of chess that I'm playing with my server or something, it's like just immediately everyone's like, oh, you fucking suck. So I've had to come to terms with that, because they're a very specific, unique audience. But once I got used to it, I definitely came to appreciate it, because it comes from a place of love and admiration.
I'm pretty sure everyone in my Discord likes each other more than they like me, but I still love them all. Are there things that you're able to do now with your content, or things that you feel confident enough to do with your content now that you have a much larger audience that you weren't able to do like back in March or February?
I had outright stopped like vlogging for a little bit because I was getting stressed with school, and then I was like, all right, yeah, I'll pick it back up, and then I just never did. Since the shout out, I think I've put out some of like my favorite videos I've ever put out. I'm trying to get back into vlogging. I have a little like couple of skitty like shit post type shit uploaded or ready to go for my channel. I have like all these ideas flowing out. It's really nice like having that jog again.
We do have a lot of ideas.
You're working on an EP, right?
Yeah, so the EP, these are some songs we've worked on and off for years. When we first started making music together, I can't talk. When we first started making music together, we kind of had no idea what we were doing. And so we've learned by experience. Some songs that we wrote early on, I think we still think are pretty good, but a lot of them we've had to alter and like redo over the years. There was like a good seed in them, but there was too much surrounding it that just ended up being like immature.
Do you mean in terms of like lyric writing or word choice, or what do you mean?
Both lyrics and music-wise. We can, look back and be like, this could sound better. Because maybe it sounds too simple or whatever, and we can like expand on it.
We knew how to play our instruments, but we weren't great at putting together a whole song. We would put together chunks for a chorus and a verse that did not sound good together, and we were under some mistaken notion that we could just come up with some sort of transition that would fix everything. And we've had to go back and fix those songs over the years because that was just not the case. It's taken a while, but it's good to have that feeling of knowing that where we started and knowing that we've grown and knowing that we're giving ourselves the ability to go forward from here.
Going out on a limb and doing a funny voice or an accent or getting really animated, especially when you're younger, or smaller, and you're gonna boost your stuff to a bunch of people who don't know you on Reddit or Twitter just to get that little traction that you need. It's very much scary to go out on a limb and really animate yourself and like go to these, you know, highs and lows of like trying to be funny, and you lean back into these tropes of like trying to deliver shit like Jakey or trying to deliver shit like Gus or anybody that you admire and that inspires you, because you know that they're funny and people like the way they do things. And once I got that boost, the first video I made after it was one of probably the most important video to me about Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring. And I remember going outside with my fucking blue shield and filming and like finally like shedding my skin and just like getting to deliver my jokes my way and like reach for the stuff that I want and like try out my own voices and memes and gaffs. It was just because I had a couple thousand people that wanted to see me be me and get better at being like individual and grow my content and everything.
Do you feel like YouTube can become more of an actual option now than it did before, or does like having this sudden growth but realizing that you're still sort of small put everything into perspective?
The Jack thing has definitely put things in perspective, but also given me more hope to just be taken seriously, because as much as like some of the people have up and left that subscribed, because that's just the nature of growing from a shout out rather than like algorithm or anything, at the same time having that 9k or 14 15k number next to your name lets people take you a little bit more seriously, give your content a chance a little bit more, have it be pushed on other platforms easier because people think, well, this guy's at least amassed a little bit audience, he's probably more founded than someone with 200 subs, even though that isn't very true. It's just the way that people perceive things. But it's definitely put it in perspective, because it's like, I'm more afraid than ever to not have this work out. I was given the luck, I was given 10,000, 15,000 people, and if I fail now, I'm like failing on the edge of success rather than failing on never having the opportunity to succeed in the first place.
Neither of us went to college for various reasons, so we always were like, well, we're just gonna work when we have to work, and we're gonna do what we care about on the side, and we're gonna take life as it comes. You know, we had those 50 people, and a lot of them were people in our lives that we said like, hey, you know, we're doing this thing on the side, if you care about it, if you want to like look us up. To have people who we don't know, who didn't know we existed, listen to our music and see our content, and especially songs that are original songs that we connect with emotionally, to have someone out in the world care about that was like the biggest sign that we're going in the right direction.
I feel more stressed out now than I did before the shadow. How has having to worry about YouTube and subscribers affected your mental health?
When I would post a video and it would get shit on Reddit or something, that would be a very particular, you know, I'm gonna go fucking cry in the shower for an hour because I feel like the internet hates me, whereas it's 10 people talking shit to you. All of June specifically was like a very long, drawn out sigh. It just like hurt, and there was way too much going on in the world, and at the same time, like you can see people starting to really dip in like June, whereas like April and May everyone was still there rooting you on and stuff. I kind of just like really decided to come to terms with things and look at things from a more business perspective and like figure out, is it really me doing something wrong, or is it the nature of what I am doing that is like causing these things?
Like, it happened, and as it was happening, the only thing I could think of is, shit, I don't want to lose any of these people.
We for sure have that in the back of our minds that, you know, we have, you know, more people are going to be watching this and stuff. But I think we pretty much do everything the same way.
Yeah, I think the only change was at first when we had this giant influx of subscribers, and at that exact same time we couldn't get together and we couldn't do anything because so many things with the virus were going on. That was when it felt somehow the best and the worst, because it was like, I have this great gift that's been given to me and I can't do anything with it. The reason it stayed the same mostly, and it's only been a positive thing to have more people, is because I think we were always doing the music and the videos for ourselves, and we were always trying to make it better because we wanted to be the best we could be and try different things because we're interested in branching out. And not that we don't care that people are watching, but you know, if you're doing what you love for yourself, you're never gonna be shaken up by what's going on around you.
Yeah, you sort of need to... I can't think of a proper metaphor, so we're just gonna pretend I never started the sentence and we'll move on.
I wouldn't trade this position I'm in now for the position I was before. It's just like the stakes are a lot higher. I think anybody has to like get used to that and teach themselves, you know, how to like control stress and like expectations and things like that. Because when something like the shout out with Jack happens, your expectations fly through the roof. You're like, I just got 10,000 subscribers. The algorithm, there's no way the algorithm can keep ignoring me now. And then it does. And it's like, oh, it must just because I'm terrible and I floundered this opportunity. And it's like, no, the YouTube algorithm just does what it wants. And you got to keep going until you get lucky.
I don't think I was depressed. I think what happened was like, at first I was worried like, oh shit, no one's gonna fuck with me anymore. You know, I'm like old news, and that was like my worry at first. But then I like kept uploading stuff, and people were still watching it, and then I that like helped my mood a little bit, you know. So I don't think I got like depressed and all of that, but I definitely like for a little bit was like worried and like really anxious and nervous.
How many subscribers did you have before the shout out?
I had 130.
And you've got 700 or so right now?
I got like 750 about. Yeah.
750. By the end of the year, back in March, how many subscribers did you expect to have?
I expected like, hey, we finally hit 200.
What's your end goal? What do you guys have in sight?
We have a couple series we're working on YouTube right now. Finishing off that EP is the biggest thing because, like I said, these songs have been years in the making. Having something really like tangible like that, like an official version of our songs that we can show people and share with people, that really does justice to the music we've been working on for years. That's the biggest thing for us right now, I think.
College can be a very interesting experience for certain people. For me, it was very negative, and I turned to YouTube for things more positive. So I was watching a lot of like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. When I saw them like talking about their community and like the charity events that they did, and people, you know, finding friendships inside their community with people of like similar interest, and the live tours they were doing and meeting everybody, that like that essence of community and like creating something grander than yourself. I want to be the person that can like bring people together under like the things that they like and people that of similar interests, especially like people that might feel disenfranchised or on like the more nerdy side of stuff.
In the end, you know, like, is it something that I'd like to do as a job? Yeah, I'd love to, you know, music and YouTube. But at the end of the day, as long as I can like help people escape from like a shitty situation they're in or entertain people in general, like that's the goal here. Even beyond the fact that it's something that I would like to do personally for the rest of my life, I like helping people like that. If I can anyway, I do it for people, you know?
The world to me is a bunch of bullshit and then the things you enjoy. You have to do the bullshit, and the things you enjoy are what make you like a sentient person and not like an NPC. I want to be for people the thing that like they can enjoy. And at the same token, I also just want to get big enough to be able to hang out with people I admire, like fucking Gus, Eddie, Jakey, H3, Jack, whoever. I so many people on YouTube. So I think the only reason people would watch this is most likely to get some insight out of it, which I know I've done for a very long time with anything I can find on YouTube, looking for that magic fucking answer that will illuminate my fucking brain to the next tier of being, and I'll finally be a big YouTuber or something. When you're smaller, you have to make content that holds some type of value to other people outside of like you and like your personality and things like that. You could have the funniest edits and make really good jokes, but like no one really wants to see like another joke teller with like 100 subs or something like that. I'm not saying that you aren't fucking funny. You're probably hilarious. I had to come to terms with like, I can't just make funny edits with my friends and stuff. If I want to turn this into something serious, I have to create content that has inherent emotional value, has a point that people want to hear. In their eyes, there's a billion people on the internet. Why would you matter anymore? One day people will like you for you, but if you really want to give yourself a fair shot at the beginning, you have to deliver content that has value outside yourself to other people.
I really don't have that many questions written down. Well, do you have anything else that you want to add?
If you want to do YouTube, do it. If you're really fucking cringe and unfunny and maybe you don't even know it and you look back on yourself in a couple years and you cringe at yourself, that's totally fine. All of my videos were so bad for years, and now I don't even know how I've gotten to a place where at least I can fucking use a green screen the right way. So, like, just let yourself grow. If you feel like you want to make videos and you have nothing to make them about, just do it, and eventually you'll find your way.
I'll just say, like, thanks for reaching out, because this was really nice. Mm-hmm. To just do an interview in general, and then to almost relive that day was just a joy in and of itself.
Yeah, for sure. These interviews have been, like, very, very pleasant. Everyone, including you guys, has been like super, super kind.
Yeah, that's good.
It's very rare that you can talk to someone who's been in the exact same position you have.
Make sure you watch more videos from this good man right here, putting together this interview and everything.
Oh, are you talking about me?
Yeah. I got a small little mixtape I put out on all services. It's called Falls. It's CG songs, all one word. Spotify, iTunes, everywhere you can listen to music. Go check it out.
Now, I just want to take a quick moment to thank you guys, to thank everyone who came because of Jack and who arrived here as a result of me being pushed on that algorithm on YouTube a bit easier because of my sudden growth. Anyone who supported me from the very beginning, with Drees, who is like my first fan, to Alex, who's been my latest, like, very prominent fan, who's still just as passionate as anyone else in between has been. And obviously a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters, Alexi, Leon, Rosepeak, Annika, Samwise, Jonathan, Liliana, and Firestar, for helping me pay rent each month. And I know we give Cabs a hard time, but thank you, Cabs, for being the single greatest financial contributor to this channel, aside from the Patreon supporters. That means a lot. Thank you to Darwinkel for helping with a lot of effects, my good friend Shay for helping edit some of my end cards, and Jojo for helping make the theme music that you guys hear at the end. And a huge thank you to everyone who's active in the Discord server, especially Imogen, Away, Natalie, Mad, Melly, Boobtit, DJ Alex R, Alex, Mongo, and Schmuck, being the ones that I sort of recognize the most and like interact with the most. I appreciate you guys a lot, and I appreciate everyone else who's also in the server. And there's a few people whose names I keep seeing pop up whenever I do a live stream. They always seem to consistently be in the live chats. So Hassan, Malia Rose, Zoe Alano, and due to Mr. Skeletal, Sev, and Eunice also show up a lot. So thank you guys as well. I hope I got everyone, but regardless if I named you or not, I just really appreciate the support that you guys give me by watching my videos, by staying subscribed, by just giving me time at all in your life whatsoever. YouTube has been like very stressful for me, but it's also the source of like some of my greatest happiness. Like putting out a video and seeing you guys react to it so like warmly and enjoying it, like knowing that I was able to like do that for like someone, for so many someones out there. You guys, I guess. So thank you. This has been a really, really gay like finale to this video, but I like you guys a lot. I'm very appreciative. Thank you. Yeah.